Today's task is to do a one-wire alternator conversion. I can talk you through it. This is about, a lot of folks have anxiety about it. I did when I first did it, but I want to say it's one of the more easy things to do. Doesn't require a whole lot of work messing with stuff, right? So there's a couple different things going on, right? There's part of a 12 volt conversion. So that 12 volt conversion basically requires new bulbs for everything, and either a resistor put in your ignition wire, or just convert to a 12 volt Pertronics, which is what I'm doing. So I'll have a 12 volt electronic, replace the bulbs, and then of course the meat of this video is the alternator conversion. So I got a bracket from these guys right here. I think that's the part number right there, Vintage Auto Garage. So pretty simple bracket. Basically remove the generator from the bracket, leave the base bracket attached to the engine, bolt that bracket on there. This is just a GM 10SI alternator. I got a whatever. They're basically any old GM one wire 10SI. They're, I don't know, 70 bucks still, and it's in 2026, so it's pretty cheap. And for wiring, I just eliminated all the original wiring, and I put in this wire right here, this hot lead, and I go over where I connect into is the battery side of the actual voltage regulator. I've actually eliminated the other wires that go to this voltage regulator because that's the field and armature, so those are gone. And that black wire that I just ran right there. You can see my new wire that I put in there. And with that, ammeter should work, everything should work. No, you don't need to have any other extensive wiring harness stuff. Looking at this other wiring, I am fixing that, but just for the sake of whatever we've got here, you can just run into the battery side of that voltage regulator. Voltage regulator is no longer functioning for anything other than a junction block for those wires, so that goes in the main harness. And that's really it. I've used the original belt. I did have to get a wider pulley. I think that's a 5/8. There's a 50 Plymouth. I think after 50 they went to the thinner half-inch belt, but for 50, so I'd had to get a different pulley. And to change the pulleys is really easy. If you have an impact, it's really easy. If you don't have an impact, it's really hard. So you just have to take that nut off, and with an impact, you just can hold this with your hand and just zip it with an impact gun, and it just pops right off, and you put your new pulley on. If you try to hold that and do that with a regular wrench, for whatever reason, seems to be difficult for me. Once I figured out the impact wrench thing, it literally takes me 30 seconds to swap a pulley. So very easy to do. I didn't change this bracket. I didn't even unbolt it. Well, I say that. I replaced that water pump because this car hasn't been running 25, 30 years. Look at those spark plugs. Kind of scuzzy looking, so I'm kind of bringing it around. But you don't normally need to remove the water pump. Brackets there, everything's there. There's a little bit of getting this angle, this geometry right because of the battery. I have the battery tray out. You don't need to do that. Because I have a little bit of rust in here, I was going to put some what is it, rust paint coating. What used to be POR 15, now I think Master Coat is what I've got. Then I'm just going to paint that over. So again, not a fancy restoration, but that's it. So just to sum up, alternator, replace the pulley, get the bracket to mount it on there, and then just a wire going over to the voltage regulator and land on the battery portion of the terminal, which is the leads that go into the rest of the wiring harness. That is it. There's not more to it. So super simple, and yeah, that's it.